Brandon Kish. I work at Schoolcraft College, a community college in Livonia, Michigan, which is outside of Detroit. Depending on how you count, we serve nearly 30,000 students in our credit 4-degree programs, but also in our really popular community programs and youth programs. I'm a developer on the administrative systems team that supports our student information system. Colleges like mine rely on vendor solutions, some dating back 30 years, called student information systems. Ours contains student records about courses taken, degrees earned, financial aid, and so much more. My team is responsible for the care and feeding of the system, trying to keep it as modern as our vendor technologies allow. Over time, every college is going to have new needs and problems to solve, and we start adding more and more products from other vendors. I'm going to compare our campus technology to a big puzzle, and I'm going to push that metaphor to the limits today. My team is involved in integrating our student information system with these other systems, getting the data in between them. So 2 examples of that are a learning management system where students and instructors interact with learning materials, and like an appointment scheduling software with advisors. Our core student information system does not offer these things, so we purchase vendor solutions and we connect the puzzle pieces together. These connection points sometimes use modern APIs, if we're lucky, but oftentimes they use XML or comma-separated value files still, and that's life. Of course, it's not as simple as picking up the only LMS puzzle piece that's out there. There are many options, and some fit colleges need better than others, and some puzzle pieces, if you can imagine, even cost more than other pieces. And we're always adding new puzzle pieces, things like chatbots, texting, and who knows what else I'll find when I get back to campus. Sometimes the puzzle pieces even overlap with similar functionality. So when we have a new problem to solve, a common question we have on our team is, do we buy something, or do we try to build it ourselves? When you buy something, other people develop, you in the crowd develop it and maintain it, and that's great if you're adhering to federal laws and mandates. If you try to build it yourself, we know our data better than anyone. We know where it all is, how to use it, and the state of Michigan even sometimes has requirements that vendor solutions won't be able to meet. I'm a developer like all of you, so I am biased toward wanting to build solutions, but I always have to remind myself that our team is small. But what if I told you could do both? You can buy and build at the same time. A relatively new product from Ellucian, which is our SIS vendor, called Experience, is an example of that. And this is not an ad. I don't expect that any of you are going to leave RemixConf and go out and buy a higher education portal. But I do think that it's worth showcasing a product in higher education that lets us build, because it's exciting. So what is Experience? Don't call it a portal, because that term has baggage in our industry. But let's call it a SaaS solution that handles single sign-on authentication, and it surfaces the right information to the right people in cards on a dashboard. The platform comes with cards like a to-do list and a class schedule that pulls information out of that student information system. And the company is committed to moving a lot of their other functionality from other products into this new platform. But what I like about this platform is that at its core, students and employees are interacting with little React apps. And these cards that are on the page all share common dependencies, and we ourselves get to build with it. These cards are great for summarizing a little bit of information, but they also let you link to pages hosted on their platform, and they're also React apps, and they use React Router. Sadly, not the latest version of React Router, but I hope that will improve soon. And Experience lets us host our own single-page web apps. To make creating cards powerful and easy, Ellucian provides a lot of the building blocks that we need, like UI components from their path design system. So what we build looks like it belongs in the platform. There's also the Experience SDK, and that provides a method for getting a signed JWT that securely tells you who is logged into the system, and then schools like mine can bring our own middleware that we build. We can use whatever technology we want. At the time, we picked Ruby on Rails, and that allows us to connect to a bunch of other campus systems and bring them to the platform, whether they have APIs or not. When we launched this, we were in a time of transition. We were launching it for students, and our website was launching new platforms. We needed a public page to direct people to the correct system for their needs. Visitors would pick a link on this landing page that we built, and it would take them to the right system to log in. To build this, we applied a relatively new React knowledge at the time to build a prototype with Create React App. And we decided really quickly that Remix would be a good option for server-side rendering, and that's how Remix first appeared on our campus last year. We were able to reuse a lot of our existing components and even the path design system by importing it and reuse a lot of our past work. And this is important when you have a small team like ours. This allowed us to launch Experience for students, and we continued to bring content over for employees. But soon we realized that some of our users, our non-credit instructors, weren't able to log into Experience because they weren't in the same on-campus identity system as everyone else, at least not yet. But we needed to replace a really old product. So we had a system that allowed people to see what courses they were teaching and accept them and look at it. It looked really old. So we needed to make something new, and we were able to do that in Experience, but like I said, we had a new problem to solve. Not everyone could log in. Non-employees could log into one of the systems on campus. It was a .NET vendor application, and it could be customized. So we thought to ourselves, could we maybe embed our React components inside this .NET app? And even if that were possible, it would make upgrading that regularly really hard. So we were asking ourselves, could we share the fact that you're logged into this .NET app with our Remix app? And the answer is yes. And it was inspired largely by incremental Remix. Before he dazzled us with that wonderful piano the other day, John Jensen shared how you could launch Remix to own some routes while another app takes over other routes. And although we couldn't use the exact concept directly because we were hosted on different URLs, we did realize that we could remix or upgrade or hand off the session. We added a single .NET route, a route to our .NET app that essentially renders and submits a form, a regular HTML form. The main payload of that is a signed JWT that says who's logged in, and it sends that, it posts that to a Remix action. And it's very similar to how SAML single sign-on works. And that allows us to use Remix auth, shout out to Sergio again in this conference, that lets us, instead of validating a username and password, we validate the JWT and we start a Remix session on its URL. And then we're able to use the same things as before to import some of the same UI components and rebuild that experience page. We assemble all these puzzle pieces together, and the end result is that our users that can log into that vendor platform in the cloud can see it in Experience, but then the people that log in with that really old application can visit and see the same information in Remix. So I've come to realize that buying and building is kind of a false dichotomy. I think you will always be buying and you will always be building. The key is to choose very carefully when you do either of those. Buy products that let you build, recognizing that a product can't do everything for everyone, and then only build what you need to solve your problems. And Remix can help with that. Thanks.